Hey everybody, Dr. Turpeau, Black America's Love Doctor here. And today I want to talk about how to have strong self-esteem. Um, Self-esteem is a big issue. It's talked about a great deal. And sometimes people say, well, how do I get strong self-esteem, high self-esteem? Now, in my way of looking at things, um, high self-esteem doesn't not necessarily mean that you have strong self-esteem because I believe that people can have high self-esteem but it not be strong. And the way you correct this is by getting a stronger self-esteem. So let's talk about first um, self-esteem. Oftentimes, I have found that when I counsel people that their self-esteem can be low, their self-esteem can be high, and but it's not strong. And the reason I say this is because their self-esteem tends to be conditional. Their self-regard, as far as their worth is concerned, tends to be based on conditions. And so when you have conditions of your self-worth, then your self-esteem, your self-worth is vulnerable. It's weak. Even if it is high, it can still be weak. Now, so what do I mean by that? What do I mean by conditions? When you have a self-esteem based on conditions, it's usually because you feel that you are worthwhile because of something else. I'm worthwhile because of this. I am a good person because of this. This is self-esteem based on conditions. And so it's like a conditional positive self-regard. And so that's not strong. So, for example, you can say, well, I'm a worthwhile good person because I'm attractive, or I'm a good person because I'm smart. I'm a good person because I'm rich. I'm a good person because I have material possessions. And all these things are conditions. I'm a good person because I'm educated. I'm a good person because of this. I'm a good person because I'm athletic. I'm a good person because I can dance. I'm a good person because I can sing. I'm a good person because of this. All these are conditions. And so when you get on this conditional self-worth track, what tends to happen is that we will find a track that we're most likely to succeed in, and then we'll go down that track trying to get to the point where we can prove to other people that we are worthwhile. And so we'll just ride that track that we think will work the best for us, and constantly trying to get other people to say that we're worthwhile, and for us to think that we are worthwhile. So self-esteem, if your locus of evaluation is external, what we say in psychology is that if your locus of evaluation is external, then that is going to weaken your self-esteem as well because it's dependent on other people. What do I mean by that? Your locus of evaluation is where you let people, where you get your assessment of your worth. So if your locus of evaluation is external, that means that you let other people decide your worth. You make that judgment based on whether they like you, whether or not they think you're good at this, whether or not they think you like that. I think Michael Jackson had a external locus of evaluation. He was constantly trying to prove himself to others and trying to change himself, dance and perform. How you like me now? I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. Always have been. But it's tragic when you see people just constantly trying to, how do you like me? Do you like me? Perform. Trying to, do you like me now? Change my appearance to the extreme levels of plastic surgery. People constantly trying to bust their butts, trying to work to say, I'm worthwhile because I do this. Don't you agree? That's the external locus of evaluation. Now, an internal locus of evaluation says, I decide whether or not I'm worthwhile. Okay? So whether or not you have an external or internal evaluation, it can still be weak if it's conditional. The external locus of evaluation is where you let other people evaluate your worth. The internal locus of evaluation is much more recommended because now you become the decider or not whether or not you are worthwhile. Okay, so that's one paradigm, the external and the internal. I recommend the internal locus of evaluation so you can have high self-esteem. Now, the other dynamic that I was just talking about was the conditional part where you say, I am worthwhile because of this. I am worthwhile because of that. We need to hang that up. Stop going down the track of deciding that I'm going to get on the academic track, I'm going to get on the good looks track, I'm going to get on the athletic, the dance, whatever, or the smart, or being a good moral person. All these tracks that we try to prove ourselves worthy to either ourselves or to others. It's still based on conditions. You can do that with an internal or external locus of evaluation. You need to get off the track of conditional self-worth. So stop trying to say, I'm good because of this. I'm good because of that. I'm good because I do this well. I'm good because I have this. I'm good because I have this much money. I'm good because I'm sexy. I'm good because always trying to get on this track of performing, trying to prove to yourself or others that you're worthwhile because of conditions. As long as you do that, even if you succeed at being the best in these areas, attraction, intellect, performance, whatever, material gain, wealth, even if you succeed and you get this high self-esteem because you've succeeded on the track of conditional self-worth, even if you succeed and have high self-esteem, your esteem is still weak. It's still weak. And the reason why your self-esteem is still weak is because it's conditional. And so the only way to have real strong self-esteem is to make sure that your self-esteem is not only an internal locus of evaluation, but your self-esteem is unconditional. It's something that we call unconditional positive self-regard. Unconditional positive self-regard, okay, which is based on the work of Carl Rogers' unconditional positive regard. The self-esteem comes from the unconditional positive self-regard, meaning that I believe, my interpretation of it, that I believe that I am worthwhile simply because I do this. Just because I exist, I'm worthwhile. My existence is affirmation enough to know that I am a worthwhile human being that deserves to be here and deserves to have what I want out of life. Your mere existence is proof enough that you are a good person. Once you've chewed up, swallowed, and digested this truth that you are worthwhile unconditionally, no matter what, and there's nothing that you can do to make yourself even more worthwhile. There's nothing that you have to do to make yourself worthwhile. Once you accept this, to me it's a psychological, but it's also a spiritual truth, that you're a child of the universe, that your existence matters, and your presence in this existence is affirmation enough to your worth. Once you've accepted this, truly accepted it, then you'll find a wellspring of positive self-regard, a wellspring of worth that's not based on any conditions, and nothing will change that self-worth, because when you're high in whatever your track is, intellect or material gain, or make how much money or how sexy or whatever you are, even though you get high up there, guess what? That stuff can change. All of that can change. But even if it does change and you go low, guess what? You will still have strong, high self-esteem because it wasn't based on that in the first place. So when your self-esteem is unconditional, not based on anything that you do or have or how you perform, when you have unconditional high self-esteem, then you will have a strong self-esteem. And the way you get that is just accepting the spiritual truth that you are worthwhile just because you exist. That's all for today. This is Dr. Turpeau. If you like this video, please click like. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And check out my other products and services at blacklovedoctor.com. So thank you very much. Harmonious wishes. Bye.